So I have one more quick thing I want to show. So I was running into an issue here where if I run away from a battle and I get the there's supposed to be a hero on horseback here that's running away, and this wasn't decoding correctly. So I was trying to figure out how to decode that. Well, it turns out that inside, let me just pull up the heroes directory here, and we're looking, that animation comes from losewalk. It's being decoded as, like, basically what I've learned since then is that this has been decoded as a colored ICN file when it's actually a monochrome ICN file, and these values are how would I describe this? These values are they're runs of a single color, so they're monochrome. Now, if I go into my latest AGG file, I've updated Heroes of Might and Magic at 1 extract, and let's look at losewalk now. I got some help from a friend of mine, King, to debug a little bit on that script. He was playing around with it, and he was able to decode this correctly. So these, you can barely see it because it's super dark. These are monochrome sprites. Now this fixed a few different things in the game. So if I go to like, not standard, but if I go to like Griffin walk, suddenly I have shadows underneath these creatures. We go to Archer, that's a nice one that has a nice, there's an attack shadow. So these shadows, these were monochrome ICN files that were not being decoded correctly, and now they are. So now I actually have, that's the standard attack file. But if we do this, we can see the cavalry also gets this cool shadow effect. So a lot of that was fixed. There's also something like radar is another one that's kind of interesting, or even just shadow 32. These were sort of generic shadows of I'm not really sure what. Shadows of something. The fonts also suddenly work. I go up to font here. The font was also a monochrome, and it wasn't decoding correctly, but now we're starting to see, like, that is the letter A. B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, like all, so I should be able to rebuild a nice font now out of this and correct. I've been using just a true type font that somebody made out of this. I should be able to make my own and kind of get the game font to be a little nicer, to something that I want. But basically, I got an updated version passed to me from King, and he, I did a little bit of extra decoding and updated my KB extract to do the same thing. And then I looked into the shadows in my other directories and just said, you know, are those all being done correctly? They were. I dumped in my C++ code to work with the updated Python script, debugged that a little bit. And then I wanted to debug how I was using the ICN decoding in my battle resources function, which is where that that incorrect drawing of the animated horse, the animated hero on a horse, that was incorrectly being rendered as like colored ICNs instead of the monochrome ICN decoded as a monochrome image. So I basically pushed a bunch of this and added this all mono mode on things like losewalk, radar, font, shadow 32, things. I think catapult has it also. I don't know. Did locators have something? Let's have a look at locators, just see if there's anything in there. I guess, yeah, locators had this box that was previously not. Let's see, if I pull up heroes, I can actually show you how it used to decode that was incorrect. So let's actually look at locators and see. I bet it's just like a jumble of pixels. Yeah, so this is how that used to render, and this is how it renders now. So that looks a lot better. If we go to, let's see, maybe we can go to catapult. I think there's something in catapult. Yeah, so we have these 15 and 16 in catapult. I'm not sure what those are like, but let's have a quick look. Catapult is up here. Yeah, so these were the shadows underneath the catapult. So that's kind of cool. So these things are being, they were being decoded incorrectly. Now they're being decoded correctly. But the losewalk.icn didn't get decoded correctly. So I ran through it a couple different ways. What was happening was that my battle screen and battle resources it wasn't using my traditional ICN, CPP, ICNH. It had, and this is just classic AI, it had created its own custom function to read the ICN files. So I took a deep breath and was like, oh, okay. It uses its own load ICN sprites. So first the AI updated the load ICN sprites function to work correctly. And I was like, okay, that's great. But is there an advantage to having this separate ICN decoding method? Why can't we just use the standard method in ICN, ICH and import it? What is the logic behind using a custom method? And I know full well that the AI isn't going to have a good excuse for this. There's no good reason to keep it separate now. So we pushed through that. It basically ripped out the special method and started just using the proper ICN methods. We did have a quirk as it used one of the ICN methods that had an empty function from my Heroes of Might and Magic 1 extract function, which some of the code is loaded into the context here. So it was using the wrong ICN file. When you give it too much context, sometimes it has just enough rope to hang itself with. And anyway, that did get fixed. I ran it. I liked how it worked, and so I updated the documentation. And let's just do a quick look at what the final build looks like. So okay, that was the wrong button to hit. So this is now animated somewhat correctly. This is kind of how it's supposed to be. The Y offset might be a little bit high. Originally it rendered up here, and I just did some offset adjustments to push it down to an approximate level. I like it up a little higher because I can see it easier against the background. I think in the actual game it's probably a few pixels lower. But it was kind of cool just to figure out basically the last piece of the decoding. I mean, I guess there's still a couple things I haven't fully decoded in the heroes.agg, and it's mostly these bin files, but most of what I need out of these bin files is just the offsets of the different sprites for dialog windows. And I've been able to just dump in my documentation and dump in that file, and generally the AI is able to pull that out. And so once I get closer to the end of this project and I'm polishing things, I'll probably go back and fix a few of those dialog windows with the correct layouts that I can extract from these. But this is probably the only piece that I haven't fully decoded. Otherwise, all the frames. Oh, and the TODs. This was just a hitbox, I believe, but I decoded those well enough to be able to extract the information that I needed from them. So really the only undecoded, like unfully decoded file is now just these binary files that are the layout boxes for the dialog windows. Everything else is fully decoded in the Heroes AGG, down to these last little shadows, which is kind of a nice touch. I'm not actually using these yet, but that'll be pretty simple to add in, I think. And yeah, I think that's where we're at for now. We successfully decoded the monochrome sprites.